Happy Halloween, everybody. Well, getting close to Halloween. We're in October, and we're doing our first Halloween-type episode of the season. A classic, a Disney classic. Hocus Pocus 2. 29 years in the making. They said, hey...
Is it a classic?
Well, yeah. They have it in the theme parks, too. Every Halloween.
Really?
I think this movie is the one most of our viewers have said, oh my god, you haven't seen it?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, this for some reason, this movie has a huge following. Hocus Pocus 1 with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker. But...
And who's the other one?
Kathy Najimi.
There you go.
Ooh.
We were wondering if you remembered, because I didn't. But, yeah, this is a classic film. It's, they said, hey, Tom Cruise, almost $1 billion-some movie after 30 years? Hold my beer. We're doing Hocus Pocus 2.
Okay, well, Hocus Pocus. I hadn't seen it until I watched just before Hocus Pocus 2.
I watched it last night for the first time.
And it was cute.
It was okay. Hocus Pocus 1 was okay.
It was memories of those family movies like Home Alone, and you just sit there and you watch it, and it's kind of corny, cheesy, but it's fun. It's fun for the kids and the parents.
Yes.
See, this is my era. I was a kid when it first came out, sort of, like young, but
30.
That's young. That's young enough to appreciate this. I had kids, right, for this, in that age group.
Yeah.
But I never got into this movie at all, like at that age. And when I rewatched it, the thing running through my mind is, stop screaming.
They scream the whole movie.
They scream the whole movie. There's no dialogue. It's the whole movie.
And when they're doing their witch thing, it's really loud. It's like, okay, everybody just chill.
Yeah.
No, they're witches. Witches don't chill.
I thought the best part of Hocus Pocus was Bette Midler singing.
Yeah.
Like, she started singing. I'm saying,
It's a musical?
holy crow, she's good. And then I remember, oh yeah, Bette Midler sings.
Yeah, Broadway singer. Might be okay at this.
Yeah.
Might be okay at this.
Yeah. So that worked. That worked.
Listen, okay, so you really should, if you're going to watch Hocus Pocus 2, you really should watch Hocus Pocus 1
Or at least
first,
know it, yes.
because there's a lot of very small, like, callbacks, right?
Okay, so the black flame candle is the callback. And,
Yes.
and you light the candle, the witches come back, and the whole movie is basically them interacting with modern day.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, a couple of distinct differences I noticed, though, okay, is in part 1, there was, like, they were learning as they went, right? The kids, there was no solutions. They had to figure out how to beat these witches, right?
And they seemed like they were in dire circumstances a lot of the time. Like running and what do we do and in trouble.
Right. Yeah. In part 2, the girls always seemed to have the solutions at the ready, one step ahead of the witches. You weren't ever scared for them.
No.
And when they needed it, they suddenly had magic powers to beat the witches.
That's like all modern superheroes.
Right. So, and I was watching it, I was thinking, they Mary sued her. Like, they Mary sued Hocus Pocus 2.
The thing that I didn't like is that in the first one, you had the kids and they were in dire circumstances, running and escaping and in trouble. And in this one,
And they were likable.
2 girls.
Technically 3, although 1 is almost written out of the movie.
Yeah, she was there for no reason. They're just kind of standing by the wayside, watching things happen. And then, there's a change of location in the scene, and so, okay, now they go over there, and then they stand to the side and watch what happens. They're not running and screaming and in trouble.
Yeah.
It was like, why are you even in the movie? It should just be the witches.
Yeah. Because they were inconsequential.
Well, the kids when the movie first started, let's start from the beginning. The movie first starts, we get the origin story of...
Which was pretty
the
neat.
witches. Those girls, those young actors, I thought, did a pretty darn good job of capturing the character of the witches.
Yeah.
I said, I know exactly who they are. I know their personality. Wow, good. And I said, now that's a good origin start. I was happy. And then we got the most, like I said, nondescript paint by numbers characters. Nothing against the actors. They were just written that way. There was nothing to tell them apart. One girl they had a falling out of, and for some reason with her boyfriend, who is, oh yeah, paint by numbers, dumb jock, stupid guy that's just goofy. The whole movie. Like I went, and then I started not liking it as much. I still liked, believe it or not, Hocus Pocus 2 more than I liked Hocus Pocus 1.
What?
I did.
I didn't.
Are you kidding me?
Hang on. Like I said, what annoyed me about the first one was all the screaming and yelling. That seemed to be all the lines was all the time. Just screaming, and running and screaming. At least in this one, I got to hear the witches more. And their stuff going on in Walgreens. And when they interacted with the crowd at the fair. I thought that was kind of well done. Like, everyone thought they were part of a costume party that was going on. And I liked how they had all the drag queens up there dressing as them and stuff like that.
Oh, it had some good scenes. It had the good song, and the Walgreens was funny.
I'm not saying I liked either one of the movies. I'm saying I liked this one better.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that you like part 2 better.
Yeah.
Well, I also even liked the song better. I like the music from the dance number when she takes over the mob and they all start doing that flash mob dance. Just the way that when she goes like this and then all of a sudden everyone in the audience goes like that too. I thought that was a really well done choreographed number.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, and I enjoy that song, obviously. And so now, grant you, the plot of the story is dumb. We all saw the ending coming a mile away. It's very predictable, but it's Hocus Pocus too. You're not gonna get.
I might get in trouble for this.
All right.
That when he says that, everyone in the world gets offended.
No, listen. When he says that, this will be edited out.
No, I maybe. But in the first one, I thought part of the charm for it, being a guy, was Sarah Jessica Parker. I thought she was very attractive, innocent in a ditzy kind of way.
Yeah.
She was one of the witches I enjoyed watching the most.
Yeah.
But while Kathy Najimy and Bette Midler aged remarkably well, Sarah Jessica Parker did not have
That same lure?
the allure that she had in the first one. And it even seemed like the filmmakers knew it, because whenever they showed her, it would just be quick flashes and get away.
Well, possibly. I mean, we're talking, 30 years?
29 years.
Yeah.
Now,
and I understand, like, not everybody could stay the same age, and yeah, this is 30 years later. But that was part of the allure of the Three Witches in the first place, for me.
well, the allure of her as the witch was she was the one that was able to lure young men away. She can't do it anymore, and because they did age over 30 years, right?
But Bette Midler looks like she was 30 years ago. Like,
Same age.
Yeah, but Bette Midler
she's ageless.
was 100 back then. So she hasn't aged.
Well, she looked great.
Yeah, but don't forget, they also had all this makeup on her, the big fake teeth and everything. It changes her face around completely. It's not like Sarah Jessica Parker, who was supposed to be the attractive one during the time.
You've seen those makeup tutorials they have that are like voodoo. You've seen those.
Yeah.
But the other one always tries to talk with the side of the mouth,
and
right?
my wife says, why is her mouth on the other side now? Because maybe she was like this and then she was like this in part 2.
Oh, did it switch? Didn't notice.
No. Couldn't care.
Like, this one didn't do it for me. I was dozing off through the film.
Yeah.
The young main actresses were
Didn't do anything.
superfluous to me. Like, they not like the first kids
Yeah.
in the original.
Well, because the story was about them in the first one. In this one, the story is more about the witches.
Yeah, but they just had more on-screen presence and charisma.
And they were louder.
What did you think of, I can't remember his name, but the museum director?
He reminded me of somebody, but I can't put my finger on it.
But he felt very out of place for me. His comedy was very,
Yeah.
doesn't sound like a witch movie kind of thing.
His comedy was very Saturday Night Live. In fact, I
Yeah.
think that's the guy that I'm thinking about that he reminded me of. There was a guy on Saturday Night Live that's, I feel like it's him.
It was almost like a character didn't need to be there.
It was the side story that
They even brought back the zombie
Yeah.
which was okay, but he had nothing to do with the plot. You could take the third girl, the museum guy, the zombie out of the movie, even the cat, pretty much out of this movie, and it would not have changed the movie hardly at all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So
The best character in the whole movie, though, was the book.
Yeah.
the book cried. It was sad.
It was more emotion. It was sweating when it was going to be found. It had a little perspiration. Yeah.
That's pretty sad when the best character in a movie is an animated book
That doesn't talk.
that doesn't talk and has one eye.
Yeah. But, I mean, it delivered its performance.
So should they watch this?
Wait, if you
And
got-
it's harmless,
yes,
this one,
If you got kids, watch it. It's not going to change their life any.
if you have Disney Plus.
They're not going.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's free now. You've
Yeah.
already paid for it.
Well, the big thing is if you have kids, are you gonna watch Hocus Pocus 2? Well, that depends. You have to watch Hocus Pocus 1 before you watch part 2, and are kids gonna be able to watch Hocus Pocus 1 in modern day times?
I think kids nowadays, you could just put on Hocus Pocus 2 and they'd be fine.
But
I don't think they need to see Hocus Pocus 1 to understand.
Yeah, you're probably
Because they
right.
kind of explained it in the movie. There's a history of these witches. They have the origin story. I don't think you need to watch Hocus Pocus 1.
but
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Hocus Pocus 1. Yeah, I think they could watch it.
Although it's more innuendo in Hocus Pocus 1 than there is in Hocus Pocus 2. Right? They talk,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, there
like
were-
a cop asks a young boy, "Are you a virgin?"
Yeah.
You don't see that nowadays.
And
So
and
things like that.
and his little sister laying back in the bed saying, "I'm Allison, kiss me."
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
There's a little stuff like that that's completely different from a modern
Little
script.
girl says he likes your yahoos or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
The yabos.
The yabos.
Yeah,
He thinks your yabos are great.
yeah. So things you wouldn't see today.
You saw back then.
And I appreciated that. I liked
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You liked her yabos.
I appreciated the
I wouldn't
humor.
put it in those terms.
She's 12, but okay.
I liked how they included that kind of raw
Humor.
comedy from kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because you don't see it anymore.
No.
all right. And you know what? I didn't love it, but I was okay with it. Hocus Pocus 2. And especially Bette Midler, when they do the dance number in the fair, that's the best part of the movie.
She's a good performer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I could absolutely have no problem if somebody put it on during Halloween and rewatch it. I'd be okay.
Okay. That's that.
There you go. Hocus Pocus 2. Tell us what you think below. Are you under their spell? Are you a fanatic? Because there's fanatics out there, and they might not be happy with us right now.